go. Welcome to On the
Chain.
On the Chain.
Chip, that's Jeff. What's
and
up?
This is Jeff. What is going on? We are fired up to be here with you guys tonight. You know why? Man, sometimes you got to be fired up when you go SEC v. Ripple. Delay. I think I hear a delay, Chip. Delay. SEC regulating crypto via enforcement, intimidation, and what else? Man, this is so crazy, but it's exciting. And we got that and a lot of other actual great things to get into because sometimes delays aren't all that bad.
No. So let's not delay it any further. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Whoa.
Welcome to On the Chain.
On the Chain, people.
What's up, Chip?
It's all good, Jeff. It's all good. I'm happy to be back. Living another day, living the dream. We're all living the dream.
Everyone's living the dream. I want to give a quick shout out to everybody following us over there on Rumble. You guys know who you are. Our one viewer over there on Rumble knows who he is. But anyhow, a lot of great things going on here, Chip. And we've got hands. Let's go. Chip, Bitcoin is going to be legal in Florida.
This is exciting news, and I'm so happy that it's our home state, Jeff. It's always cool when you hear great things like, there's always, oh gosh, I just realized I'm not on. Why am I on Wi-Fi? Uh-oh.
Chip is coming to us live via Wi-Fi.
Wow. I was like, why is there a Wi-Fi signal there? I turned off Wi-Fi. I'm going to have to go out and come back in.
So we do have a great tweet storm, and I'll wait for Chip to come back in for that tweet storm. But this one is with James Flynn, Flynn Law. And it's really, from start to finish is outstanding. But really, before we get over to James, and as Chip is sorting out his Apple issues,
it's not an Apple issue.
Okay, I mean, I meant to say a
browser issue. By the way, I'm using Google Chrome, Jeff, in case you want to know, in case anyone's taking notes out there.
Chrome. As am I.
Google Chrome.
And they're listening, and they're eavesdropping, and they're monitoring everything we do and everything we say.
Are they? That sounds like
they are, Chip. They listen. They
must
record,
because
they're monitoring, and it's brutal.
They're destroying us. So far, we've grown faster on Rumble than we have on YouTube over the last couple of days.
Standing. So before we get into the guts of it, so we get into the SEC, we get into the Ripple, get into the XRP, and I know you guys are here just for that, but we got to bring this up because it's exciting. It's in Florida. It's a great thing. It's great news. It's timely news, but the Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is taking big steps to make sure that companies here can pay their taxes in crypto.
Yeah.
That's a big step forward. We know you can do that in Ohio. You can do that in Wyoming. Can't do that in New York. But
you can do it in
Florida
Texas,
governor says the state will accept Bitcoin for tax payments. And if you're going to start anywhere, I mean, it kind of goes against the grain to say, hey, we're using crypto for taxes. But you know what? It's a start in the right direction. What say you, Chip?
I'm thrilled. But now what I want to see is a little bit of togetherness I want Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, to get together with Francis Suarez, who is the Miami mayor, along with the mayor from Tampa, and her name escapes me at the moment, but everybody here in the state is pro-blockchain, pro-digital assets. Why don't we become a leader? Why don't we make Miami or Tampa, and we'll have a split city. Hell, we'll even throw Orlando in there if we have to, and let's bring crypto blockchain companies here. Let's do that. Can we do that? I would love to do that.
I think we can do it because, man, DeSantis is 100% fired up. He was very clear to contrast his pro-crypto stance with state. controlled digital money proposals floating around Congress.
Nice.
DeSantis said he believes there are a lot of hazards related to a federally controlled digital dollar.
So
Underscore
right.
federal. You know what that's all about.
We got
And it
into
says
it.
here, we did. And DeSantis said he's very concerned about the Biden executive order on crypto. Why? Because the exploration is for central bank digital currencies and directing financial agencies to develop policy recommendations related to digital assets that will then become centrally controlled. So,
Interesting.
man,
Yeah, of
DeSantis
course.
is onto something here, and it's big news. It's huge news. It's right here. It's timely. It's lively, and I like. We need to get Mayor Suarez, like you said, together with Ron DeSantis, and we need to have a little powwow and say, hey, you know what? Florida is where it's at.
Yeah, and I want to just big shout out here to Susie Cuccia, if I'm saying that right, Cuccia or Cuccia. I don't know which way, but that's a beautiful super sticker right there. And you can see there that she's hanging out with her horse. And
Sweet.
that photo there is Susie, great supporter of the channel. Really, Jeff and I thank you a lot. Appreciate that so much. And Jeff, I wanted to kind of segue into another cool thing that happened, which was, remember the other day, we had on JW Verrett, and he was talking with Gary Gensler and kind of giving him a little bit of guff. And Gensler was like, well, sorry to see you go. We ought to be friends and we ought to talk about things. And even though we don't agree, we should, he gave him all that stuff, which was complete nonsense. Well, look at this. John Deaton interviewed JW Verrett, and we're trying to get JW on the chain because he would be great on the chain.
JW, come on the show.
Come on the show, JW. So James Rule, XRP, put this clip out. It says, listen up, SEC and Gary Gensler, XRP, not a security. 66,000 members of the community have proof. And so let's listen in on this. And I did share the audio, so let me know if you don't hear it, Jeff.
Spoken.
Let's listen in. This is a good one.
All right.
He's eliminated one of the factors. For example, not just the solely factor, but he says if there's an expectation of profit. But as you know, the Howey decision says that an investment of money in a common enterprise and the promoter has led the people to believe, right? The word is led to believe in reasonable expectation of profits. And the issue there is, and I know because there's 65,000 XRP holders, and I have absolutely talked to thousands of them, believe it or not, through affidavits and things of that nature. And it turns out that the majority of first-time purchasers of XRP, they were aware of the term Ripple because Ripple and XRP was used interchangeably, but they were unaware of a software company or a company that sold software to banks called Ripple. And my question to you is, can you enter into a common enterprise if you are oblivious with that promoter and that common enterprise exists?
Well, under the vertical commonality, I don't think you can. You might be able to under horizontal commonality as it's understood now. But again, it's understood now in a way that's far beyond what the Supreme Court originally intended, I think. But yeah, I noticed that in your brief and your filings, and I thought it's incredible that never before has there been an SEC enforcement action where so many people, tens of thousands, how many is it that joined your amicus?
66,000.
66,000 people the SEC is purporting to protect. Say, don't protect me. That's it. That's incredible. And that speaks to just, case selection. Is this the right case to be spending your time on? There are real rug pulls, real Ponzi schemes, real frauds.
Agreed.
In that purport to be crypto that I don't think is legit crypto, and none of us who are mainstream crypto like or respect or want anything to do with. Why isn't the SEC spending its time there?
Okay, so I want to just give a big shout out to the XRP Army, Scotty over there, and the entire XRP Army team doing an amazing job getting the word out on important issues. So I want to thank them for putting that together. It's really a big shout out.
You guys are doing a phenomenal job.
It's good to see the XRP Army. Yeah, it's the XRP Army, Scotty, and the whole entire team. There's a whole bunch of team people out there working and getting. I see a lot of activity with tweets, and this is community is what it's all about. So, of course, James Rule, part of that community as well. So that was outstanding. What are your thoughts on that, Jeff? What you're based on what JW?
I hated every part of it. No,
that's true. That's not true.
man, Bitcoin forever. No, so
Bitcoin.
you know, so one of the things that he really got fired up about is the fact that Deaton has 66,000 XRP holders, and you summarize the whole thing, and he goes, they're purporting to protect them. These are 66,000 people that don't want to be protected by the SEC at this juncture in time because they realize that this SEC is out of their minds, and it doesn't make any sense. And the reason why they're out of their minds, as he just stated very succinctly, is that there are actual Ponzi schemes. There are actual rug pulls. There are other BitConnects out there that are taking people's money and giving nothing in return. And what do? They come after the one legit entity. And so when you start summarizing this, Chip, I always go back to our initial premise, and I sincerely believe there's a lot more involved in this entire case, not just the Ethereum Foundation, but it does go back to the politics of Swift and trying to take down that behemoth, that conglomerate that's been around since 1974.
Right, Jeff. I mean, really a strong point here. Look at this. Frank XRP, another great supporter of the channel. Frank says, thank you for all your hard work on the case. I think I speak on behalf of the entire community when I say we truly appreciate it. Thank you for that, Frank. Did Hinman commit perjury? We're about to find out. If you want us to answer the question, there are some, and again, we're not privy to, it's hard to say, but I believe that he has contradicted himself. Let's put it that way. So when you go under oath and you do not tell the entire truth, we see this happen all the time. A lot of times it's the not telling the truth part. You could have just gone in and told the truth and then let it be. But Frank, you might have a good point there. We're going to find out, and we may not find out, but there's something going on there. How is it going to shake out? We'll see. But I think that there's bigger fish to fry out there. JW brought up a great point that there's so many rug pulls. I mean, there's something new starts up. You see the hockey stick flying up, and everybody dives into it. Boom, rug pull. Everyone loses their money. Not a word. Nobody goes after him, Jeff. Nobody says a thing. Meanwhile, one of the most established companies that's using the digital asset XRP, which is decentralized, is out there, and they file suit. Because, I mean, what it's opening up is every other one, too. And I wanted to throw this up there. This might get Troll of the Week award. This right here, it might get the Troll of the Week award. Let's look at this. So Gary Gensler put this out. Curious how your money can grow over time. Here he is with Jeff. Look, it's our buddy Gary G. So what he does, he shares this calculator on investor.gov because, he's trying to be slick. So he wants to show you compound interest. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the 8% that he talked about in one of his office hour videos, where he claimed that you could get 8% on a checking or a savings account. Do you remember that?
I do.
It was a little bit odd. Yeah. So you could see that
after he said that, Chip, I took all my money and I put it into that 8% interest bearing checking account.
How'd that work out?
It's working out great at
0.08, 0.008.
0.0008.
Yeah, that's a little bit. He missed a few zeros there under the decimal point. So
he didn't specify specifically.
You know how this works, Jeff. You throw in your initial investment in here, your monthly contribution, how many years? Let's just put 10 in there. The estimated rate, we'll just put 8%, because that's what Gary G says. And the variance range, I don't know what that is. 3, and then you calculate it. And there it is. You'll have 10 years, you'll have $233,000.
What did we start with?
I started with 100 grand.
How many years?
It was 10 years.
10 years is the multiplier, isn't it? Every 10 years, your money's supposed to double.
Yeah, well, there's 10 years, $100 a month. So you take that over to the course. Then you have the interest rate, which is 8%, and then the variance range. This is the rates above. So there you go. In other words, it's just, so Gary's trying to educate us.
He is educating.
on what that is. So, of course, John Deaton popped in here and said, curious how crypto can be wiped out? Just wait for the next overreaching enforcement action filed by the SEC. This is great.
Boom. Gotta love the trolling.
Boom.
Trolling.
Want to see how your crypto can get wiped out, Jeff? Simple. Wait for the next overreaching enforcement action by the SEC and Gary J.
Man. All right. So check this out. John Gill, big supporter here on the chain.
Kevin Simon.
Kevin Simon, thank you very much. Always a great show and content from John Gill. That's awesome. And just as this is for Hans, yeah, I just wanted to put this up here because this is for Gary Gensler when he sees what a real rug pull looks like. And I just figured, hey, you know what? This is real moving video. So we're going to put this up and play it for 1 second.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. Ready?
Oh, no.
This is really moving. This guy's, man, what he says is so eloquent. Are you ready? I mean, just the speech, the way he starts off the speech, the eloquence of it. I mean, it must have taken a lot to put in, writing this. So here we go.
The old BitConnect, Jeff. Can you turn it up, Jeff? Yay.
Hey, everybody. All right, man. That gets you crowd fired up.
And I wanted to say to John Gill, like, if you guys don't know what that means, Kevin Simon, like, you got to be an OG. You got to be in here and you're thinking, what the heck? Why are they calling him Kevin Simon? Well, somebody in the chat one time referred to Jeff as Kev, say, great show, Kev and Simon. I don't know how that worked out, but that's where that came from. So we kind of joke around that I'm Simon and that's Kev. So I love it.
Awesome.
And Jeff has secretly changed my name at times.
I have done it multiple times.
I'll do it to you
so
right
David saying, prepare for the 30-year long recession depression. Yeah, Brian, on the chain is awesome. How about XRP as a stable floor with a not to exceed amount? Example, 1,000 to 10,000, floating for inflation. You are XRP admirals. Thank you, sirs.
Admirals. I like that. That's a good comment.
Admiral.
This one right here, Frank says, we got screwed on Flare. It's trash now. I don't know about that. I mean, I think the jury's still out. Is it? Are we talking? No, hang on a second. What are we talking about here? Are we talking about Flare Finance or what's now FLR Finance? Or are we talking about the Flare token that's coming out, which now we have Songbird?
Flare Network.
Yeah, Frank, you don't need to do another super chat. Just clarify your statement so we can figure what you're saying there.
Matt, the multiplier is every ice age.
0.0000008% every age.
But if you start at that 0.00008, then you're kind of.
You wish you could buy crypto at that. You're just delight.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm super excited to buy it at 0.00000.
You're in Dogecoin range right there.
Doge.
Look at the Doge or the SHIB.
And this right here from K Hut, thank you for that. He's a big Connect Bulldog Pit Bull. Right. There you go, big Connect. And
8% was the rate when Gary last left the house.
Could be.
Was that back in the 70s? When was that?
Who knows, man?
Man.
I just feel like
they're heading back to 8%. What do you think of that?
I just see him living like in a Brady Bunch type house. Like it's like the decor in there is like from the 70s. Like he has like an orange shag carpet in there, maybe. Like that's the only room that's semi-modern that he broadcasts from. That's the why, because otherwise he's like a 70s freak and he loves 70s stuff. It's not true. I don't know if it's true. I just made it up, but I love the idea to just hypothesize about it.
Simon and Jeff Uncle.
Jeff Uncle. Simon and Jeff Uncle. Simon and Carm. That's a good one, man.
Electric John. I like Ethereum, the company, but the token is slow and expensive. The company, though, wow. Lies, fraud, backroom bank deals, bribes, skullduggery. Lubin's a modern J.R. Ewing.
Ooh.
Token sucks.
You know what happened to J.R. Ewing, don't you? Remember that whole who shot JR?
I remember that.
Gosh
That was bad.
almighty.
That was
So,
bad.
so chugging right along here,
Man,
we have James filing over here. I'm going to go ahead and show this here. Let's take a look. James Filan put this up.
There you go.
He said
Man, this is
the SEC v. Ripple, or I should say the SEC's request for an extension of time was granted. In a text-only order, it stated the SEC shall inform the court of its position on whether any additional discovery is required within a week of the filing of the individual defendants. And then he said this, and the defendant's answers, the parties are directed to meet and confer as to a briefing schedule for summary judgment motions. Parties shall submit a joint proposed schedule for the court's approval no later than 1 week after the SEC's submission. So it appears that the individual defendant's answer is due on April 8th. The SEC's position on additional discovery is due on April 15th, which, if you guys don't know, in the United States also happens to be tax day. That's when you have to,
which was extended to the 18th this year.
Which has been extended to, has it been extended?
The 18th.
Okay, that's good. And the joint proposal scheduled order due April 22nd. The filing of the individual defendant's answer is the triggering event. When the answer is filed, even before April 8th, the date the answer is filed starts the 2-week clock running for the filing of the SEC position on discovery, and then the joint proposed scheduling order. And also
delay.
Yeah, and also I know that James Filan said too that he said he wouldn't be surprised if it was filed before April 8th.
Yep.
Which means the 2-week clock. So we'll see what happens there.
So pull that up. We got to read through the commentary. The commentary is brilliant. Yeah. As we go through it, it's actually really, pretty good. So dictator, know-it-all. She's ensuring they can't go to court again if they lose.
That's absolutely right. He's got it right.
Yep.
That's right, because they were granted every single time they made a request for an extension, they were granted it. So you don't want to go to an appellate court, because the appellate court would be like, well, was it really fair? I mean, they asked for this extension, they asked for this, and you didn't grant it to them. They could say stuff like that. So that's exactly what she's doing.
There you go.
The extensions don't negate their right to appeal. Dictator know-it-all says apparently it does. No judge in the right mind would take the case after seeing how many chances the SEC. Now, Jeff, I don't know if you're aware of this, but something else that, and I was trying to find the exact docs, but I did read a story the other day. Judge Torres is also the same judge that is working on the Private Veritas case and made a really phenomenal ruling in favor of Veritas, Project Veritas. And again, had to do with free speech, had to do it. So really along the lines, constitutional type stuff. And so it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of Judge Torres and who she is as a judge. DJ Peter Voss says, I don't understand why they keep getting extensions when the SEC started this mess in the first place. And then we just...
That's a good point, because we got Ted's life. Why would the judge grant the delay?
Appellate courts. That's why.
The SEC boys are packing their bags and getting ready to flee the country. Trust me on this one. Devon, the SEC are the ones making the case. You'd have thought they'd be ready.
But they don't have the goods. They got nothing. They don't have it. They can only extend. They're hoping that maybe Congress, by some miracle of fate, comes through with something that gets them off the hook.
And that's what's great about the commentary here. So look at this. No shit. It was the other way around. They wouldn't be having it. That's how you know the case is fake. They aren't ready for the new system yet, and this nonsense will continue until they are. But here you go. Let's just ask for a 5-year extension. Why not? Granted.
Can I understand how the court it could be? No, the judge has it right. And I think, listen, Lionel has it right here. It's exactly right. It's the monumental size and impact of this case cannot be discounted. When the judge is looking at this under a microscope, this isn't some little case that nobody cares about. If there are 66,000 XRP holders on the amicus that joined Johnny Deaton's amicus, that there's a lot going on here. And the fact is that it's been going around all kinds of different media outlets. In the beginning, it was like, oh, XRP holders are concerned. Now that's expanded to almost everybody, Jeff. We're all interested in what happens here.
Yeah. So there was, in those tweets, there was some interesting commentary on the SEC dragging their feet until there's an outcome on the library case. So at that point, then the SEC is going to bring up whatever the decision is on library and bring it up in the case against Ripple.
Maybe, but I think that's insignificant.
I'm just saying that was additional commentary.
I think this all boils down to money from K-HUD. Boils down to money. Always is. Follow the money. You can always find out what's behind every action. Politician did something, follow the money. You know, a company did something, follow the money. It's always going to be the answer every single time.
But like Pfizer, why not just ask for a 75-year extension?
They did, Jeff, and the judge said, hell no. The judge said, no, you're going to release it in the next 7 months. So now that it's coming.
Gary was probably sitting there salivating. He goes, if Pfizer gets
Jeff,
away with this, we're going to ask now. We're going to ask for 100 years.
No, I'm not a math genius, but when you go from 75 years down to 7 months, all of a sudden it ended. Isn't that weird how it all just ended? It's gone. I mean, nobody cares about it anymore. That's weird. And then all of a sudden, those details start hitting the ground. It's rough, Jeff. It's pretty rough.
Coming out. Frank XRP, you don't bring a case and then make a case. You have a case made and then bring it. This is all garbage.
But Frank, that's exactly why they got nothing. Nothing.
And now they're trying to build their case.
If you had the goods and you knew you had the upper hand, would you be asking for delays? What discovery? They've been doing discovery for the last couple of years. What discovery do they need? Depositions are done. It's over. You have Ripple looking for summary judgment. And that's kind of what you and I always thought it would go. Of course, we've got that big bet with Mr. B and Alex coining 203, saying it's going to be a settlement. There's no incentive to settle. I don't see any incentive to settle.
Man, there's a lack of incentive. The SEC thinks they're just. Ripple's fighting the case. They're not giving in. So when you have two parties that are so far apart on getting even close to a settlement, you know, what does the SEC really have to gain through settlement? The only thing they have to gain through settlement is making a statement that XRP is a security and trying to, you know, put an end to it, which is, you know, seems to be their agenda there. Now, if they can't get everything they want, they're going to keep going. But he's already come out and said, sometimes you got to lose some, you know. So if he's already preparing himself for the inevitable, he's already putting that word out there. And so now, well, it's going to be interesting, really, to see how this all unfolds because, man. So Jim D was saying the judge really should consider it an insult to the court for the prosecution be asking for delays. It really, and it is mocking the justice system. The fact that not only that, but they ignore the judge. So many times throughout this whole process, they've just ignored the judge. So ignore, Jeff, delay.
Don't think.
Delay.
This is brilliant. I'm loving every bit of this. I really am loving every bit of it. I know people are getting frustrated, but I'm telling you, this judge knows exactly what she's doing. She's playing it beautifully. And she's just, you want an extension? Great. You get an extension. So after all the extensions, after all the things they've asked for, she's requested that they turn over certain items within so much period of time. They've ignored that 2 or 3 times. Don't think that karma is not accumulating. And don't think that that's not going to come back and bite them in the you-know-where, Jeff.
Oh, it is. Robin says,
what's up, Robin?
Guys. Hey,
look at, I want to go over this one here. This next tweet.
Here's a secret chip for court. Bird Dog saying he's 8-1 in traffic court. Always carry a briefcase.
That works. Even these days, I would bring a backpack. I don't know about a briefcase. You put the briefcase down, snap it, and then you open it up.
Sandwich out. Exactly.
Take your sandwich out. It's just filled with sandwiches. Or what you do is you put like, makes it look like it's all like hundreds in there. Right, Jeff? Can you imagine that? Like you have hundreds in there. They're just on top of stacks of paper.
On top of sandwiches.
And you turn it around. Come on.
You put your hundreds there to hide your sandwiches.
So after James Filan was talking about the extension being granted, G, better known as Ego by G, said patiently waiting on John E. Deaton to give his opinion on this. Well, John never disappoints. He said the extension is a big deal in form, but not in substance. We would all love to see denied. Technically speaking, it's understandable why it was granted. The SEC really doesn't need to see the answer to decide. What's that RW again? With regard, more discovery is needed, but that's usually how it's done. It's a big deal to people because it's another delay by the SEC. Practically speaking, however, it won't delay the case much at all. I wouldn't be surprised to see Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson's answer filed by the end of the week. And that's what Jimmy the James Filan was talking about here when he said that whole thing of when it starts. It was when they filed that 2-week clock starts. So there really is not going to be much of a delay, which I love. Pretty good.
Remember Art Vandelay?
Of course I remember Art Vandelay. Oh, sorry, Jeff, wrong one. Clicked on the wrong thing there.
Frank, XRP, there's an incentive to settle for the SEC. They don't lose their asses in the civil court, plus avoid a precedent that could be used against them later.
Here's why I'm going to disagree with that. Frank, you're making a good point. However, the only reason cited that Brad Garlinghouse said he would settle was one reason only. If they would settle, if the SEC would announce that today's XRP not a security. Never going to happen. They blow the entire case by that. And we also know they had to spend an hour, I think it was back in February, maybe early March. They had an hour. It was on one of the requisites that they had to spend at least an hour in a conference to see if they could come to some amicable, they didn't call it a settlement, but to see if they could come to some agreement. They did not come to an agreement. They've attempted to settle several times, but I believe because Garlinghouse will never accept anything less, you go ahead and settle. It's like pay a fine, great. And then guess what? No clarity. We still don't know if XRP is a security or not. That's why I have always been adamant, as Jeff has. Jeff, tell me if I'm wrong, that there's not going to be a settlement. What do they win in a settlement? I know what you're saying, that they don't lose their ass, but problem is, are they going to be able to admit that, oh yeah, maybe back then it was a centralized token, but now it's decentralized? I don't see it because it's going to blow every potential case in the future.
Yeah. I don't see Gary settling. It doesn't seem like he's the chief enforcement officer.
He's the pillar, Jeff, pillar of enforcement. He's like
the pillar. He's the captain on the enforcement team and the enforcers. WR actually means weather. Maybe that makes more sense.
I don't know. I don't like the abbreviation. It must be an attorney thing.
Yes. So tactic is saying, or tactical is saying, tactical apex, saying in arbitration, plaintiffs typically delay defendants into a broke submission through extensions. Had one case last 4 years. Man, that's whether they want it or not, huh?
That's another tactic too.
It's an interesting tactic.
Well, Ripple has deep pockets too, so but yeah, that's what you try to do. You try to squeeze them out.
Yeah,
unlimited amount of money versus the big company can last.
Okay, HUD. I say U.S. taxpayers pay Ripple and Excel and XRP holders reparations. There you go.
And there it is.
We need a little XRP bailout due to SEC overreach.
Did you say SEC overreach, Jeff?
SEC overreach.
So I wanted to pull up another John Deaton making a prediction here. He says, here's a prediction. When someone finally asked Bill Hinman about the $15 million EEA member Simpson Thatcher, I guarantee he denies knowing that his law firm was a member of the EEA. That's the Ethereum, what is that? The Ethereum Foundation Association? You know what that is, Jeff?
I don't know what is EEA. Is it Ethereum?
It's the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance.
The European Economic Area.
Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. I always call it the Ethereum Association, whatever. It's the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. He says, I guarantee that he denies knowing that his law firm was a member of the Ethereum Alliance. Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. He's like, I don't know. So save the tweet. I did that, by the way. He says, why I'm so
Listen.
sure to guarantee my prediction. One, it doesn't pass the laugh test, smell test, taste test, or any other basic ethics test. If he admits he knew Simpson Thacher was a member of the EEA, people would ask, well, why didn't you disclose it? Or you agree it looks bad, right? But here's the proof. In an email, Hinman tells his buddy at Simpson Thacher that the ethics office is resisting him going to an ad hoc dinner if the lawyers from Simpson Thacher will be there. Dinner, Jeff. Dinner.
Steak dinner.
No way Hinman cleared that speech. I might go back to steak for that, Jeff. I might have to go back to steak for that, just that one night. No way Hinman cleared that speech with the ethics office knowing about the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. And here's the email. Here it is. This was sent back on March 7th of 2018. This is from Bill Hinman to Joshua Bonney. It says, Bill. Oh, wait a minute. It's from, sorry, I flipped that. It's Joshua Bonney to Bill Hinman. Bill, I got promoted to be the co-head of the DC office. Not sure what office head does, but I guess I'll find out. I am sure that you are very interested in our eternal BS over here. Not. Is there a headache for you coming to ad hoc next month if folks from Simpson Thacher are there? We can sit out a month if it makes your life easier. Not really sure what I'm talking about and may have it completely wrong, but I heard there could be hassle for you. You see how even in an email, it's to sort of disguise, say it, but don't say it, Jeff. It's all
say it,
just
but you don't say it. Kind of cover
pretend
it
like
up
you don't know
real.
what you're talking about. You know, I could be completely wrong, and maybe I don't know, and maybe it's a hassle. We don't know.
Maintain plausible deniability.
There you go. And Bill Hinman replies, Josh, thanks for your note and congrats to you. Let's discuss the ad hoc. Our ethics folks are resisting me attending the STB if the Simpson Thacher lawyers were going to be present. I don't like the idea of Simpson Thacher having to miss the meeting because of me, but we can talk about it. This is crazy right here. And then Joshua says, well, maybe we could implement a protocol where we would not speak or ask questions about our presence. It was purely passive. I am not intuitively grasping what the issue is. However, so that may be a completely stupid idea. The whole thing's stupid already. In any event, we are happy to sit on the bench this month to make things easy if need be. Does Jay have the same issue with S and C? And then he goes off. So that right there is crazy. So then Crypto Eddie got in on the conversation and she's like, oh my, John, oh my. For anyone trying to understand this, the EEA is the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Read the entire communication carefully. Oh my. She cannot believe it, which I can't believe it either, but
it is shocking. And it's out there now for public consumption.
Damn right it is, Jeff.
And so I'm really glad, and Deaton, understands the game really well, sets things up very well, make sure he covers his ass very well, and think about going back to the email that he had sent us and said, here's what's going to happen once he filed, his case. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So Jim D is saying, I think XRP Army should propose a settlement B that Gary Gensler be formally asked to resign in shame. We need this worm out of his meddling forever.
Sounds good to me.
Turn down his honorarium professorship.
Easily. You could do that very easily.
John Deaton, thank you for existing from The Alchemist.
That's right.
Texas Crypto, there's more going on than we'll ever know. There's more going on than we'll ever forget.
You know why John Deaton's the best? Because first of all, here's a little known podcast called On the Chain. We invite him on here after he filed his first set of paperwork in January of 2021. And he comes on here. It was amazing. It was like, it happened talked to him on a Saturday via like a DM and he was here Sunday and he's been back multiple times. What an amazing human being. And what we called him on that particular show is I think we dubbed him the superhero. That's what a superhero does. That's his superpower is sniffing through the BS. That was his superhero. So look, we got Jeremy Hogan says what. So he's commenting on the order that the filing was talking about, the granted. And Jeremy Hogan, another phenomenal attorney, says what I like about this order, Judge Netburn ties the deadlines to how quickly Garlinghouse and Larson file their answers. The sooner they're filed, the sooner the 1 week clock starts. Also, she ordered a summary judgment briefing schedule, which hadn't been ordered previously. How about that, Jeff?
Interesting.
And then
Man, you gotta love all
V.
the dissection here. There's so much information.
There's a lot going on here. This is why it was like just putting. I mean, and there's so much more, but this is just the stuff that we kind of chose for this to talk about tonight. And then V at Victor Victory 75 says the end is in sight, right? Does your initial prediction for all this to be over by latest in September still stand? And then Jeremy Hogan says, yes, nothing changed yet. It's obvious Ripple wants to have it briefed and ready for the judge to decide the case this summer. It's also obvious that the SEC will say that they can't be ready that fast and try to push the briefing schedule back. Interesting. They're going to try. They're going to delay, just like the thumbnail says, because they've got nothing. If you got an amazing case, you want to drive forward. You want to go 100 miles an hour. You just want to steamroll that other party. Unless you got nothing, Jeff. Then you got to delay and hope something good happens and something intervenes and it doesn't turn into just a complete crap show. This one I wanted to play too. We've had Tom Emmer on here, and he was on another podcast. It was actually at the Blockchain Summit, but this is a great piece of video right here too. Let's put this up here. All right, let me throw it on the screen. Let me go ahead and share the tab, and I'll throw it up there. So this is it right here. He said, in case you missed it, no other industry is regulated by conclusory public comments and threatened enforcement actions. It has to stop. So let's listen in on Tom, the great Tom Emmer.
Tom Emmer.
By this, we could start to put some rails in place so someone who is creating a future commodity doesn't get sucked into the requirements of the SEC. And by the way, gets stuck in this what looks to be a constipation of action, right? They, we're investigating, we're researching your proposal. Well, guess what? Why would they do it here? At that point, I sat down with a guy months ago down in Georgia. And will not disclose who. He knows who he is. We were having this very discussion, and he said, because I can't be certain what the U.S. government is going to require, I just started a $1.4 billion project in the British Virgin Islands. Yeah. That's the problem, Dara, is that we've got to make sure that project should have been started in the United States of America. And that entrepreneurial spirit, that innovator should have stayed right here in this country, creating opportunities, not just for himself, but for our citizens.
All the jobs, that would have been created in here. Yeah, it's amazing. And the other thing, you talk about the regulators and the SEC. The problem is too that coming out with a statement saying that Bitcoin, we think maybe is not a security and other things are. They're in a way picking winners and losers too, which you can't have government doing that either.
Winners.
So spot on. Think about it. No other industry is regulated by conclusory public comments and threatened enforcement actions. It has to stop.
Sure does.
It has to stop.
I wanted to show one thing here. Though.
Enough.
See a little XRP logo right there?
What's that?
See a little XRP logo right there?
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that.
It just happens to be, I thought it looks like an XRP logo. It's not really, but what do you think about that? What do you think about it? It's amazing, right?
Man, you got to love Tom Emmer, and he's really calling him to the mat. And, it's like, enough's enough already because, they're all seeing it. Warren Davidson is seeing it. Tom Emmer's seeing it. They're all stepping up to the plate now and they're saying, you know what, Gary, enough's enough. But the problem is that, the whole, it's not just him. It's just everything around him just kind of stinks. And it's causing a lot of chaos. Right to the executive order on cryptocurrency, the fact that the Token Taxonomy Act has gotten zero traction in committee. Man, it's amazing to me, and so now, but we're really starting to feel, I think, the momentum that's really picking up at this point. And there could be, a trend as they're waiting for the midterms. So we have, midterm for those outside the U.S. We have midterm elections coming up in November, where we're going to see, major flipping happening in the U.S. Congress, both in the House and the Senate. And that's
100 seats for 100 years.
That's it, man. I mean, it needs to happen. People have gotten to a point, and it's crazy because, we're seeing the implication of everything that we're up against right now. Everything we're facing is seeping into our everyday existence, right? From our gas prices to our food prices. I'll tell you what, and I don't know if it's because of spring break or whatever, Chip, but I was out driving today and went to Whole Foods for lunch, got some
Okay.
sushi. And then I left the office around 5:30, went back to Whole Foods to pick up some steaks for dinner. There was no traffic on the road at 5:30. No traffic. Got to Whole Foods, no traffic. There was almost nobody in there.
What does that
Came
mean?
out, still no traffic. Where are all the people? Where is everybody? Why
I
aren't
don't know.
people
There's tons of
driving?
traffic in my neighborhood. I don't know what you're dealing with over there. But
I know,
yeah,
but I
it's-
just feel like all of a sudden it's like there's like a little bit of a lull in the traffic. Are people not driving because gas prices are $5 a gallon? There
Working
was a
remote.
woman, she was walking, it was outside near the office, and I just kind of overheard her on the phone. And she was saying to whoever she was talking to, she goes, yeah, when we were on a limited budget, a couple of years ago, well, it's going to be kind of like that now. We're just gonna have to watch our expenses. I don't know if there was something else going on. She was just talking super loud. In my mind, I was just relating it to high gas prices and exorbitant food prices, and I'm like, man, and this is just, it's like it's endemic, of everything that's going on. And, right down to crypto, because crypto is kind of like the salvation as we move forward into this new economic renaissance. And it's going to be all about the cryptocurrency, Chip. It's all about the XRP. It's all about all these other digital assets out there. And then you have people like Gary Gensler that, are hiding out in their basement or wherever he's hiding, and, attacking the crypto community and the blockchain community. It's just kind of crazy to me. Doesn't it just seem crazy, like just preposterous?
It's preposterous, but every once in a while, we haven't seen a lot of FUD articles, and then all of a sudden, every once in a while, you get a FUD article that kind of hits. And this one here, I bet you it's probably got a lot of clicks on it, but New Today always does weird stuff. Look at this. Ripple's under siege as 63 central banks collaborate on new payments system.
That's definite FUD.
Yeah, and somebody else already pointed out that this was like 6 months old. Some of the stuff they're talking about here, this Project Dunbar, was talked about by the World Economic Fund. It's about maybe 6 months ago or something like that. Yeah, this is the BIS. That's what it was. The Bank for International Settlements, owned by.
And we
63.
talked a little bit about this too. The Air Monetary Fund.
Yeah, this whole thing. But just look at the way this is written, Jeff. It's like Project Dunbar, institutional Ripple competitor. No. Multiple prototypes already. Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, we're 10 years in, but every once in a while you see that's like that one there gets the FUD of the day because it happens, Jeff. And then this, I thought this was really interesting. Look at this right here. The CFTC, who's been mostly silent as the SEC has been going crazy against crypto, the CFTC is gunning for a bigger role in regulating crypto. And Commodity Futures Trading Commission, better known as the CFTC, the chairman, Rostan Benham, asked for an expanded role in the Senate hearing on Wednesday.
That's a good thing. There's been some push, a little bit of a balance, and so I like this idea that the CFTC gets a little bit more engaged in crypto, because for the most part, cryptocurrency falls into their domain a little bit more than it does into the domain of the SEC.
Exactly.
Not a security.
So he asked for an increase of at least 100 million to their annual budget of 300 million because he wanted to take on this. So that's how you expand. You need additional money to be able to go. And he said we've also been a forceful and disciplined cop on the beat. Benham said the continued emergence of digital asset technology presents risks and opportunities, and the CFTC stands ready to leverage its expertise and experience to confront both. And I actually think that. What do you think? I actually think that would be a better, because since most of these digital assets are not securities, the SEC has no involvement.
That's it. Here's the question though. They're asking for 300 million.
No, they're asking for 100 million to the 300 million budget they currently have.
Oh, they want, okay. So
Yeah,
they want to, so they have a budget of 300 million. They want an extra 100 million so they can help
correct.
regulate crypto.
That's it. Got it. It's
So
like,
they
let's
want a
see, what can
third.
we ask for that would be that's timely, and we might be
And
able
we
to get
need
the
a lot.
money.
And we want a third, we want a third
Hmm.
of our budget increase. So
Yeah.
what are they going to do with $100 million to help regulate crypto?
Spend it at the casino, Jeff. Go nuts.
Man, I think they should buy
crypto.
Buy some crypto.
Buy
They're like, well,
Bitcoin.
let's see. Right.
They buy Bitcoin and that becomes 200 million next year. It's perfect.
That's what they're thinking. They're
It's
like,
a perfect
what,
scheme, Jeff.
what can we do with 100 million? Well, we're going to take it and invest it in some Bitcoin and some XRP and some other assets, and we're going to kind of spread our wealth around a little bit. And that 100 million next year, when it 10 times is, or it does a 5x, we're going to be sitting on some cash.
Then we'll,
like
then
we're
we'll
gonna,
think
we're gonna
about
turn 100 million into $1 billion and then talk about it.
Since most digital assets aren't securities, they just got this big giant nest egg. I love it. It's brilliant. Jeff, look at this. You
CFTC
remember?
is going to be sitting on, man, could you imagine that?
You remember you were talking about
the SEC.
You were talking about the fact that Formula One, we're starting to see massive sponsorships in sports. Now, this is something interesting. The NFL, the National Football League, this American football in the United States, reverses course on blockchain sponsorships, keeping the ban on crypto, or keeps ban on crypto and token deals. So, league cited the growing popularity.
Is that
crypto.
legit?
Yeah, it's a legit story. Yeah, they reverse course on blockchain. You can do blockchain. In other words, Ripple could become a sponsor, but they don't want to promote tokens. They don't want to promote, digital assets specifically, but you could promote like Solana. You could say,
so crypto.com can still market.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
FTX,
exchanges.
But they're basically saying they don't want like Dogecoin. They don't want a Dogecoin like in remember the NASCAR had the Doge sponsor, or
that didn't work
some of the other tokens that didn't go over so well. But yeah, maybe.
XRP Supercar, thank you for that super sticker. Really appreciate it. Supercar.
I'm going from thinking they're stupid to, maybe they got some sense there. Maybe they're actually, maybe it does make sense, because now you're kind of opening up the floodgate to any token.
Well, I'll
all
show
of
you
a sudden
this.
It gets a little crazy.
Foyesade Alokin, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Alokin. He's an American football player. He came into the league, and I think it was 2008, maybe. Yeah, 2018. I'm sorry, 2018 draft. Was drafted by the Falcons. He just signed a new big deal with the Jaguars. And he is. I want to play this little interview, because this right here is, football players always get a bad rap. They're like, oh, they're football players. Well, this guy knows what he's talking about. And I just love this little clip here. But of course, to share the audio, I'll go through it. But I love it because we're starting to see sports, a lot of it in the NBA. We're seeing different sports personalities, whether it's football, non-American football, regular American football, whatever it may be. We're starting to see this drip into everything we do and touch, which is the whole idea. So this was on here. So he signed this big deal with the NFL Jaguars, and he's going to talk a little bit about his investing here. Let's watch this little clip.
What is it? What do you got?
Here we go.
Congratulations on the new deal. Can you talk to us about kind of your financial goals going into the future as an NFL player?
NFL for me, I love playing and I'm dedicated to the game, like probably more than a lot of people you ever meet. But I do know that after I retire, I'm going to be 33, 30, early 30s. I have the whole rest of my life to live. So whatever I make now, I don't want to have for the rest of my life. I want to have that keep growing, keep expanding on it. A lot of people get right into real estate, buying properties and making money off of that, and tenants and all this type of stuff. Now there's this whole avenue, technology, blockchain, crypto, all that, NFTs. It's important for me to understand exactly how to be successful in these ways that I think is going to be the future of how to make money. So that's kind of where I am now, just seeing the importance of, understanding how to make money work for myself. A lot of the bets kind of already around backing. I can take a little bit more risk here and there.
I like that, Jeff.
That's smart, Chip. You think about, I think we're starting to see, hopefully, more athletes, getting actively involved in their futures, meaning their future after their sports. Because a lot of these guys, they end up going broke when they come out. And so he's, really intelligent. You could already tell, one of the things that his plans are, he has to educate himself, and he's looking for the new technology now. He said he's, at a point now where he can take big risk. So why not do it? And I think that, he really, really spot on. It makes so much sense. And, starting to think a little bit outside of where he's at. So 100% on board with that. It's kind of like my son, said, he wants to start investing now. He wants to make money so he can invest. And I want to help, promote that. And so if you can start kids when they're 12 years old, or, how old is that guy's? Probably in his early 20s.
Yeah.
Right. He just
he came in 2018. So if he came in when he was 21, he's mid-20s, 24, 25. Play for another 6, 8, 7, 8 years. Massive contract he just got. Yeah, he's going to be doing all right.
Yeah, I like it.
Look at this here, Jeff. I wanted to just before we get out of here, but look at Fed Chair Powell. New rules will be needed for crypto. Well, that's great, dude. But you know what?
No kidding.
You're not going to have any part of it because you are a nobody. We don't need a third party debt instrument blowing up more stuff. We don't need that. So he's coming out saying, "Oh, we don't know if we're going to do a CBDC." This is like their net statement. Meanwhile, they're putting it together so you can figure out who's in control.
Yep,
it's junk. The Fed will do this, and the Fed will do that. No one asked you. Here's the whole point. Nobody cares. Nobody asked you.
Nobody asked at all.
Nobody asked you. You'll have nothing to do with it. You have no role in it.
And as a parting shot across the bow, Robert saying, Chip, I disagree with you. A settlement.
What do you disagree with?
Can give just XRP clarity without setting a legal precedent. But yes, I mean, a settlement can definitely do that. So it's not that we're against this notion that a settlement can provide clarity. We're against this notion that the SEC will actually agree to a settlement that gives XRP clarity, which is why there won't be a settlement, in our opinion.
But there could be,
I think we're both on the same side. Obviously, a settlement can do that. I think both Chip and I are saying that based on the parties and how far apart both parties are, that it's almost just and I'm not thinking about it from any type of legal stature perspective or precedent, just from a pure human nature, psychology, business perspective. When you have two people that are so far apart, two parties, you have the SEC and you've got Ripple, and neither one of them are going to be willing to come to the table based on where they currently stand. So in order for there to be a settlement, that means the SEC will have to give clarity to XRP. The SEC doesn't want to do that because they're in their statement over and over and over again. They're saying that XRP is a security.
Right.
So in order for it to give clarity based on Ripple's stance, it can't be a security. So if one says in order for there to be clarity, it can't be a security, and the other says in order for there to be clarity, it has to be a security, how do you resolve that? How do you rectify that? How do you come to settlement?
Well, since you disagreed with me, I will say this, that it wasn't me that announced the only way they would settle. Garlinghouse said the only way they would settle with the SEC is if they said today's XRP, not a security. They levy a fine. It would be over. Done. Would I love a settlement? I would, because that's exactly what would have to happen. The fact there's been multiple times where they've talked about settlement and no settlement's been done, I don't see it happen. Now, if they were to do that, I would be overjoyed. I would be happy to lose a bet and happy to buy a steak dinner. But I don't see it happening. Just don't. Steak dinner. It's going to be made out of.
Got that one in there.
I'm going to get a fake salmon dinner. How about that?
Dude, that would be great. What was it called? Plain fish?
It's called schmackish. Smackish. I don't know what it's called.
You can paint anything and make it look like something else.
But it doesn't taste. How does it taste? And I always like these, it's not a sugar, it's some other sweetener. And you're like, and it's in your mouth for like 6 hours after you drank ate whatever it was. That can't be healthy. I think you just go with regular sugar cane, Jeff. Anyway, that's all we got tonight, guys. Come on back here tomorrow. We stream 6 days a week. We will see you on the next one. Chip and Jeff out.
Go check us out on Rumble. Rumble's cool.
Rumble is awesome, guys. Get on Rumble.
Rumble. Go check it out.
See you.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.